I feel like whenever it comes to entrepreneurship, you're always scratching an itch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have this passion, you know that you're supposed to do something with your talent, and you're just scratching at it, trying to figure out how to make it. Like, a lot of people don't know that scratching is a relief.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really, the ointment, the way that you make yourself feel better is to actually go ahead and go after it.
Right.
Get that ointment, rub it in there, and keep it on there so that, you know, you can feel better.
Right.
But it's like with entrepreneurship, like you're always scratching at that itch because you're saying, I have this skill, I have this talent, and I should be able to do something with it. That's why I like meeting people who have a passionate hobby.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I met this guy yesterday who loves woodworking. I mean, like loves it to death.
Okay.
And I can tell, like, if he didn't have to worry about anything else except for woodworking and selling his woodworking pieces, he would do it. That's that itch. You know what I mean? Like he does it in his garage. He does it. He goes to work, comes back home, and does the woodworking.
Does he have like a special like niche? Like he likes to make, I don't know, tables or.
Well, he was telling me how like he was telling me how he created. The conversation we were having was like a video game. You know, like an arcade box.
Yeah.
He created an arcade box and put inside of the arcade box RAM. Not RAM, ROMs.
So he knows how to make like technology too, or like how to configure things.
Yeah, configure computers. So like he was telling me like he basically built an arcade box for a relative of his. I don't want to put his business out there, but he built an arcade box for a relative of his so that she can have like the video game.
Yeah.
You know, all the video games that she wants to play on this arcade box. I don't know if you remember like the set-top boxes. It was like it's basically like a table where you could play video games on it with a joystick. So they used to have them like at pizza stores and stuff back in the day. So it was one of those things, and he basically was telling me that he built it, and I could tell like by the look in his eyes, like it's like everything. That's life. That's life to him. He loves it.
He loves video games and he loves creating things with his hands.
Exactly. Boom. And so it's like I always look at entrepreneurship, like I said, as like an itch that people need to scratch. You know, like it's like you know, like I said, we have a passion for something, but we just don't know how to make money off of it. You know? And so when I came up with the idea of Chunky and Friends, I was just like, oh, at first it was kind of like, yeah, you know, I'm writing these stories. I might have a couple ideas for it. I'm just going to create these characters. Yeah. And so the first thing I did was create Chunky. And, you know, he's a slightly overweight kid, about 10 years old, who has a vivid imagination. Maybe there's a little autobiography in there. But, you know, he has a vivid imagination, and from there it was about expanding and, you know, creating another group of characters. And so I created Candy, who loves to eat candy, Juice, who loves to drink juice, Chip, who loves to eat chips, and Gums, who loves to chew gum. And it's 5 characters, and I created them to show kids that yes, you might love gum, candy, juice, and chips, but just like Chunky and his friends, you can't have it all the time. You can only have it some of the times.
Yeah.
And so when I created these characters and I created this world, I was like, okay, now I'm going to try to give it to hospitals to try to see like whether or not they're interested in, you know, having it as like being a mascot of sort to help kids understand. And nobody was biting. And so I said, okay, they can't see the vision. Let me go ahead and, you know, use my skill, scratch that itch, you know what I mean, of creating and write a story.
Yeah.
And that's when I wrote the first book. And after I wrote the first book, I was like, that felt really good. Yeah. It was like a feeling that I used to get from making music, the feeling of creating that I used to get from making music.
Yeah.
And it gave me the confidence to put it out there, to show it to other people. You know what I mean? And once I showed it to other people, that's when I was like, okay, people are reacting to this in a way that's positive, the same way that my cousin did when I was writing the poetry.
It made you feel good.
And it made me feel good.
It made other people feel good because they're getting healthy.
Scratching that itch, you know what I mean? And then from there, I started publishing the books, and then all the way up until now.